On a distant planet, a grand council room glowed with bright lights and holographic screens. Alien leaders, with their sleek, shining bodies and glowing eyes, gathered around a massive table. They were the rulers of the galaxy, boasting about their advanced technology and intelligence. Their laughter echoed through the chamber as they watched a live feed of Earth, the blue planet that seemed so small and weak compared to their might. "Look at them!" sneered one alien, his voice dripping with contempt. "They still struggle with their primitive tools and outdated ideas." How amusing. The others joined in, mocking humanity for their apparent inability to progress. In another corner of the galaxy, a young human named Alex trained hard with his fellow soldiers. Tall and strong, Alex was the embodiment of determination. He and his team were part of a secret defense program designed to protect Earth from any potential threats. They were aware of the Alien Council's discussions, and they had their eyes set on proving that humanity was not to be underestimated. Suddenly, the room shook with a warning alarm. The Council's attention shifted to a large screen displaying an approaching fleet of ships. "What is this?" shouted a high-ranking official. "They are coming here?" The aliens quickly realized they were not the only ones interested in Earth's fate. Their plan was to invade, capture, and experiment on the humans they deemed weak. Back on Earth, the news reached Alex and his team. They gathered in their training room, the air thick with tension and anticipation. "We can't let them take us," Alex said, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "We must prepare to fight." The team looked at one another, determination growing in their eyes. This was their chance to prove that Earth was not just a joke. As they strategized, Alex shared his plan to intercept the alien fleet before it reached Earth. "We know their strengths and weaknesses better than they do. We have to use our knowledge of the terrain, our natural instincts, and our teamwork to outsmart them." The room filled with agreement. The soldiers felt a renewed sense of purpose. With each passing moment, the urgency increased. The fleet's approach was imminent, and the alien ships began deploying smaller craft to scout the area. Alex's team quickly equipped themselves with advanced weapons and cloaking devices they had developed in secret. These devices would make them nearly invisible to the aliens, giving them an advantage in the upcoming battle. The team gathered at the launch bay, adrenaline pumping through their veins. "Remember, they think we're weak. Let's show them what we can do," Alex shouted, rallying his team. They boarded their ships, ready to take off into the unknown. As they ascended into the sky, the Earth below became smaller, but their resolve only grew stronger. As they approached the alien fleet, the sight was breathtaking yet terrifying. The massive ships loomed like giants in the darkness, their hulls shimmering with advanced technology. Alex's heart raced. They were about to face their biggest challenge, one that would define humanity's place in the universe. Stealth mode activated, a voice echoed from the ship's control panel as the cloaking devices engaged. The humans became nearly invisible to the naked eye, just as they had planned. The aliens were unaware of the storm about to hit them. Alex and his team navigated through the vastness of space, feeling the weight of their mission pressing down on them. Just as they were about to engage the enemy, an unexpected tremor shook their ship. The alien fleet had deployed a powerful electromagnetic field, disrupting their cloaking devices. "They're on to us!" shouted one of the soldiers. "Prepare for battle!" Alex's mind raced. They had trained for this, but nothing could prepare them for the sheer power of the alien fleet. "Stay calm," he commanded. "We can do this together!" With a steady hand, he took the controls, guiding their ship toward the heart of the alien formation. The team braced themselves, knowing that this was the moment they had trained for. They would not back down. They would fight for their planet. As the ships of both sides drew closer, the tension in the air was palpable. The aliens still laughed, thinking they would easily crush the puny humans. But Alex had a secret weapon, their fierce determination and unbreakable spirit. In that instant, Alex realized that this was not just a fight for survival, it was a fight for respect. Humanity would no longer be seen as a joke. They were ready to claim their place among the stars. The moment of truth was at hand, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Would they rise to the challenge, or would they be defeated? As the first shots rang out in the vastness of space, the battle for Earth had begun. With every pulse of energy and explosion in the distance, Alex and his team prepared to show the galaxy that humans were not just an afterthought, they were a force to be reckoned with. As Alex and his team prepared to engage the alien fleet, tension hung thick in the air. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could compare to the reality of battle. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout their ship, and the control panel flashed with warnings.
What's happening?
One of the soldiers yelled, panic rising in their voices. "Stand by!" Alex commanded, trying to keep his team focused. The ship shuddered violently, and they felt a pull that seemed to warp space itself. Without warning, a massive gravitational force grabbed hold of their ship, yanking it toward an ominous, swirling vortex in the depths of space. "Brace for impact!" Alex shouted as the ship was dragged into the unknown. When they emerged from the gravitational pull, they found themselves in a strange and hostile place. It was a planet unlike anything they had seen before, a death world. The landscape was chaotic, filled with towering mountains, vast deserts, and dense tangled jungles that seemed to pulse with life. Thunderous roars echoed in the distance, and strange, fearsome creatures roamed the land. The skies were dark, swirling with ominous clouds that flashed with lightning. "Where are we?" one soldier gasped, eyes wide with fear. "This must be the death world they've talked about," Alex replied, trying to mask his own anxiety. "It's a dangerous place, but we can use it to our advantage." The alien fleet, still in disarray from their sudden arrival, struggled to regain control of their ships. Some of the smaller crafts were already crashing into the rocky terrain. The aliens, once so confident in their superiority, were now faced with terrifying challenges. Their advanced technology began to fail in the hostile environment. Alex's team quickly devised a plan. "We need to stay on the move and avoid direct confrontation," he instructed. "This planet is our ally now. We'll use its dangers to our advantage." They gathered their gear, ready to explore the death world's treacherous terrain. The soldiers felt a mix of fear and excitement. They had to adapt quickly or risk being overwhelmed. As they moved through the dense jungle, the team was awed by the alien flora and fauna. Trees twisted high into the sky, their leaves shimmering with strange colors. But they also heard the distant growls of predators lurking nearby. Alex felt a thrill course through him. They had faced impossible odds before, but now they were fighting for survival in a world that demanded every ounce of their strength and cunning. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the trees. A massive creature charged toward them, its eyes glowing fiercely in the shadows. The team barely had time to react before Alex shouted, "Run!" They sprinted through the underbrush, adrenaline surging as the beast pursued them. In that moment, they understood the real meaning of danger. The death world was alive, and it was not forgiving. As they ran, Alex realized that their only hope was to stick together and use their training to survive. This planet might have been hostile, but it also offered them a chance to regroup and prepare for the challenges ahead. They found a rocky outcrop where they could hide, catching their breath and reassessing their situation. The chaos of the death world seemed to reflect their own turmoil. But in this fight for survival, they discovered something important. They were no longer just soldiers. They were warriors ready to defend their home against any foe, even if it meant facing the unknown horrors of a death world. With a newfound resolve, Alex looked at his team. "We can't let fear control us. We'll adapt and fight back. Together, we'll turn this death world into our battleground." As they prepared to face the next challenge, the soldiers felt a flicker of hope. They were determined to show the galaxy that humanity was far from a joke. As Alex and his team settled into the rocky outcrop, they realized they had only scratched the surface of the death world's dangers. The sounds of fierce creatures echoed through the jungle, reminding them of the constant threat lurking nearby. "We need to come up with a plan," Alex said, gathering his team around him. "We can't just hide here forever." The soldiers nodded, their faces serious. They all understood that the alien fleet was still out there, trying to regain control. "We need to gather intel on the aliens," suggested Maria, one of the sharpest minds on the team. "If we know what they're planning, we can turn the tables." They split up into small groups, each tasked with scouting the area for signs of alien activity. As Alex led his group through the dense foliage, the tension was palpable. Every rustle in the bushes made them jump, and every shadow seemed to hide a lurking danger. Yet they pressed on, driven by the desire to protect their home. As they navigated through the jungle, Alex's group stumbled upon a clearing where the remains of an alien ship lay wrecked. The sight was eerie, and the air was thick with the smell of burning metal. They quickly moved in to investigate, but what they found shocked them. Inside the wreckage, they discovered evidence of an internal struggle within the alien ranks. "Look at this," Alex exclaimed, pointing to the markings on the ship. These symbols indicate a faction that disagrees with the invasion plan. The realization struck them. There were divisions among the aliens. Some were willing to fight, while others questioned the morality of their mission. "This could be our chance," Maria said, her eyes brightening. "If we can exploit their weaknesses, we might stand a fighting chance." But just as they began to formulate a plan, one of their own soldiers, Lieutenant Krauss, appeared from behind the trees. He had a strange look in his eyes. "What are you doing here?" Alex asked, surprised to see Krauss so far from their base. I was just scouting," Krauss stammered, but his nervousness was evident. The group exchanged wary glances, sensing something was off. As they prepared to return to their hideout, Krauss suddenly pointed back into the jungle. "We need to leave now! The aliens are coming!" Without waiting for an explanation, he turned and sprinted in the opposite direction. Confused and alarmed, Alex shouted after him, "Wait! We need to stick together." But Krauss didn't stop. The team hesitated, unsure of what to do. Alex felt a pit in his stomach. Something's not right. I think he might be leading them to us. Before they could act, the sounds of alien ships filled the air. The gravity of the situation hit them all at once. Krauss had betrayed them, leading the aliens straight to their hideout. Alex's heart raced as he realized the danger they were in. "Everyone, we have to move," he ordered urgently. They darted back through the jungle, adrenaline pumping as they raced to warn the others. The tension mounted with each step, knowing that time was running out. As they arrived at the rocky outcrop, they found the rest of the team preparing for an attack. "The aliens are coming!" Alex shouted, panting from the run. "Krauss has turned on us!" Gasps filled the air, and fear gripped their hearts. They had to act fast. With Krauss working against them and the alien threat growing closer, they had little time to regroup. "We need to defend our position," Alex said, determination hardening his voice. "We faced impossible odds before, and we won't let betrayal tear us apart." The soldiers nodded, ready to stand and fight. They quickly fortified their hideout, turning the rocky outcrop into a makeshift fortress. But even as they prepared for battle, a sense of uncertainty lingered. Could they trust each other in the face of such treachery? Would they be able to unite against a common enemy? As the sounds of approaching alien ships grew louder, Alex steeled himself for the fight ahead. The rising tensions and betrayal had tested their bonds, but he believed in their strength. Together they would face whatever came their way. The atmosphere was electric as Alex and his team prepared for the incoming alien attack. The sounds of alien ships grew louder, echoing through the jungle as they closed in on their position. Each soldier felt the weight of fear, but they also felt a fierce determination. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for their home and each other. "Remember what we're fighting for," Alex said, rallying his team as they took their positions. "We fight for Earth, our families, and each other. Let's show them our strength." His words ignited a fire in their hearts. They nodded, gripping their weapons tightly, ready to defend what mattered most. As the alien ships descended from the sky, bright beams of light lit up the darkening landscape. The soldiers prepared for the worst. Suddenly, explosions rocked the area as the first wave of alien fighters attacked. Bright flashes illuminated the jungle, and the ground shook beneath them. Alex and his team returned fire, the sound of gunfire blending with the roar of the alien ships. In the chaos of battle, Alex spotted Maria fighting fiercely beside him. She was a skilled soldier, her bravery shining through as she took down one alien after another. But as they fought, Alex noticed the tension in her eyes. He could see she was worried about something beyond the battle. "Are you okay?" he shouted over the noise, trying to connect with her amidst the chaos. Maria hesitated for a moment, then said, "It's my brother. He's still on Earth, and I can't help but worry." Her voice trembled, and Alex felt a surge of empathy. "We'll get through this," he assured her. "Once we win, we'll return home together." He hoped his words would comfort her, but deep down he knew the danger was real. As the battle raged on, the soldiers fought valiantly, but one by one they began to fall. Alex watched in horror as one of his friends, a fellow soldier named Ben, was hit by an alien blast. He collapsed to the ground, his eyes wide with shock. Alex rushed to his side, feeling a mix of anger and despair. "Stay with me, Ben," Alex yelled, but Ben's breaths grew shallow. Tell my family I love them, Ben gasped before his eyes closed. In that moment, grief washed over Alex. The weight of sacrifice hit him hard. They were all fighting for something bigger than themselves. Fueled by loss and determination, Alex stood up and rallied the remaining soldiers. We have to keep fighting! For Ben, for everyone we love. We won't let their sacrifice be in vain. The words poured from his heart, igniting the fire of revenge in the team. As they pushed back against the alien forces, Alex felt a bond forming among the soldiers. They were fighting not just for survival, but for each other. Each blast, each scream, and each fallen friend made them stronger, more united. With every alien ship that fell, they remembered their fallen comrades. The emotional weight of the battle spurred them on, turning their grief into fierce resolve. Together, they fought against the odds, determined to protect their home and honor those who had already sacrificed so much. Just when they thought they had gained the upper hand, Kraus reappeared, leading a group of alien fighters. You think you can win? He taunted, a sinister grin on his face. You're only delaying the inevitable. But this time, Alex felt no fear. Instead, he felt a surge of anger. He had lost too much already, and he wouldn't let Kraus's betrayal crush their spirits. As the battle intensified, the soldiers dug deep within themselves, ready to fight not only for survival, but also for the memories of their fallen friends. They were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice, knowing that their bonds could never be broken. United in their grief and determination, they prepared to face whatever came next, knowing they fought not just for Earth, but for each other. The battle reached its peak as the sky lit up with explosions and flashes of gunfire. The once serene landscape of the Deathworld had transformed into a war zone. Alex and his remaining soldiers stood strong, fueled by determination and the memories of their fallen friends. They could feel the weight of their sacrifices pushing them forward, ready for one last stand. As they regrouped, Alex glanced at his team, taking a moment to absorb the gravity of the situation. This is it, he said, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. We either defeat them here, or we lose everything we fought for. The soldiers nodded, their faces set with fierce resolve. In the distance, the alien ships loomed ominously, their engines humming with power. Kraus led the charge, determined to crush the humans once and for all. Alex could see the malice in his former comrade's eyes. He knew that Kraus had fully embraced the alien cause and would stop at nothing to see them defeated. With a deep breath, Alex formulated a plan. We need to draw them into the jungle. The trees can cover our movements and give us an advantage, he suggested. The team quickly agreed, recognizing that this was their best chance. They set up traps and barriers, ready to use the environment to their advantage. As the aliens advanced, the soldiers fell back into the dense jungle, leading the alien forces deeper into the underbrush. The sounds of battle faded into a tense silence, broken only by the rustle of leaves and distant roars of unseen creatures. The humans knew they had to be patient and wait for the perfect moment to strike. Suddenly, the aliens broke through the foliage and chaos erupted again. The soldiers sprang into action, using the traps they had set to slow down the enemy. Explosions rang out and the ground shook beneath them. Alex led the charge, determined to take down Kraus and the alien threat once and for all. Focus on Kraus, Alex shouted to his team. We need to end this now. The soldiers fought fiercely, dodging blasts and returning fire. Alex felt the adrenaline coursing through him as he fought his way through the chaos. As he closed in on Kraus, their eyes locked, and Alex felt a wave of anger and betrayal. You were one of us, he yelled, his voice hoarse with emotion. Kraus smirked, his eyes cold. You think you can win? You're nothing but ants to me. The final confrontation began, each move calculated and desperate. Alex dodged Kraus's attacks, feeling the weight of his comrades' sacrifices driving him forward. He could see the fear in Kraus's eyes as he realized he was losing ground. This is for Ben and everyone you betrayed, Alex shouted, and with a surge of strength, he knocked Kraus to the ground. The two men struggled, but Alex held the advantage. You don't have to do this, Alex pleaded, hoping to reach the man he once called a friend. Kraus's expression flickered, but then he spat back. I'm stronger than you think. You'll never defeat me. Just as Alex was about to deliver the final blow, a loud explosion shook the ground. The remaining alien ships began to malfunction, their systems failing one by one. It's working, one of the soldiers yelled. The alien technology was failing against the Deathworld's environment, turning the tide of battle. With renewed energy, Alex turned back to the fight. Kraus attempted to escape, but Alex wouldn't let him go. "You will answer for your betrayal," he yelled, and in a final clash, Alex defeated Kraus. The battle raged on, but with their leader down, the remaining aliens began to retreat. The soldiers cheered, their hearts soaring with victory. They had faced unimaginable odds and had come out on top. Exhausted but triumphant, they regrouped, knowing they had protected their home and honored their fallen comrades. As they looked around at the destruction, they understood the price of their victory. In that moment, they knew their fight was far from over. They had proven that humanity was strong, resilient, and capable of standing against the greatest threats. Together, they would continue to defend their world, united by their losses and strengthened by their triumphs. With the Deathworld behind them, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing they would always fight together as one. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the air was thick with the smell of smoke and burnt metal. The alien threat had been vanquished, but the cost had been high. Alex and his team stood together, bruised but victorious. They looked around at the remnants of the battle, feeling a mix of relief and sorrow. They had lost friends, comrades who would never return, but they had also proven that humanity could stand strong against even the greatest foes. "Is it really over?" Maria asked, her voice barely above a whisper. She scanned the horizon, searching for any signs of danger. Alex placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "For now, yes. We've pushed them back, and they won't forget this fight." He knew that their victory would echo through the galaxy, but he also understood that new challenges would arise. As the team began to regroup, they took a moment to honor their fallen friends. Alex led them in a silent tribute, remembering each soldier who had fought bravely beside them. Ben's sacrifice weighed heavily on his heart, but he found comfort in knowing that their fight was not in vain. "We'll make sure their names are remembered," Alex vowed. "We will carry their memory with us, and we will tell their stories." With the immediate threat eliminated, the soldiers set up a temporary camp to recover and regroup. They had survived the Deathworld, and now they needed to plan their next steps. Alex took charge, organizing supplies and making sure everyone had what they needed to heal and rest. "We did the impossible," he reminded them, a sense of pride swelling within him. "We showed the galaxy that humanity will not back down." Days passed as they tended to their injuries and reflected on their experiences. Alex and Maria often found themselves talking late into the night, sharing stories and dreams of the future. They both knew that they would have to return to Earth eventually, but for now, they were united in their mission to ensure peace. As they prepared to leave the Deathworld behind, they received a message from the command center. "We're being hailed by Earth," one soldier announced, excitement in his voice. Alex's heart raced. They had waited for news from home, and now it was finally here. The message came through, and the familiar face of their commander appeared on the screen. "Congratulations, team. You have accomplished something extraordinary," the commander said, pride evident in his voice. "We have received reports of your bravery and determination. You have inspired humanity, and your story will be shared across the world." Cheers erupted among the soldiers as they realized their fight had not only saved their lives, but had also ignited hope in others. "We'll make sure the world knows about our fallen friends," Alex declared, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Their sacrifices will not be forgotten. As they prepared for their journey home, a sense of anticipation filled the air. They were no longer just soldiers, they were heroes. They had fought together, faced impossible odds, and emerged stronger. Alex felt grateful for his team and the bonds they had formed. Together, they had forged a new beginning, one filled with hope and resilience. As their ship lifted off from the Deathworld, Alex looked out at the landscape below. It was a world that had tested them, but it was also a world that had brought them together. "We did it," he whispered, filled with pride. "And we'll continue to fight for our future." With hearts full of hope, they headed back to Earth, ready to share their story and inspire others to stand strong. Their journey was far from over, but they knew that together they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. United by their experiences and driven by a shared purpose, they were ready to write the next chapter of humanity's story, one of courage, sacrifice, and new beginnings.